Hawaii is one of the most interesting places on the planet for a multitude of reasons. One of those reasons was the part of their history as an independent kingdom. Hawaii had many kings and chiefs throughout the islands, but one day a guy was born and given a prophecy he'd be the one to rule them all. His name was King Kamehameha. Before you ask, no, it's not actually related to the thing from Dragon Ball Z, it's actually a coincidence. Kamehameha established the Kingdom of Hawaii in 1795, and by 1810 had finished unifying the islands entirely. Now he had a job to build his kingdom further. But first, did you know that Kamehameha unified the islands by getting a lot of gunpowdered weapons? Well, you might be hypothetically wondering, was Kamehameha worried that his wallet might accidentally be damaged in battle? Well, if he got a Ridge wallet, the answer would be no. Ridge is once again sponsoring the channel, and in another example of how great they are, the material for their wallets is in fact bulletproof. Your cards will not have any bullet holes through them anytime soon with their excellent design on their wallets. You too can get a wallet, and if you use the code EMPEROR with the link in the description, you can get a 10% discount on a new wallet. Thanks again to Ridge for sponsoring this video. So Kamehameha in his reign established a law system. One famous law of his was let every elderly person, woman, and child lie by the roadside in safety, and was meant to be a new law of war should that ever happen in Hawaii again. He also created Hawaii's flag, which was a weird amalgamation of the British and American flags. Basically, a British visit to the island resulted in him getting this flag as a gift. But supposedly, during the War of 1812, he wanted to declare neutrality due to the high amount of British and American traders on the island, so he supposedly raised both this flag and the US flag on his home, but that wasn't received very well, so eventually he's like, fine, I'll try this, and this became the flag of Hawaii. Then somehow a few decades later it changed a little bit to this. This would be a major example of Hawaii adopting Western ideas such as an official state flag, and would occur more as time went on. Hawaii wanted to promote prosperity on the island with trade, and since their biggest partners would be the British and the United States, it would be seen as a way to be respected by them. Kamehameha started dressing like this, but would often get portraits of him dressing like this. When he died in 1819, his son Kamehameha II became king. Kamehameha II wouldn't reign for very long. He spent a lot of money on lavish things, and then in 1824, on a trip to visit the British King George IV, he caught the measles and died. So his brother would be crowned Kamehameha III and ended up becoming the longest reigning Hawaiian king. He westernized Hawaii even more, especially as Christianity grew more popular on the island and trade increased even more. He made a Declaration of Human Rights in 1839, almost went to war with France in 1839 until he legalized Catholicism, and made a constitution for Hawaii in 1840 which turned Hawaii from an absolute monarchy to a constitutional one. Then after someone claimed British citizens on the island weren't having their rights respected, Hawaii became a British colony for 5 months. Yes, only 5 months. Basically, the British occupied the islands on February 25th of 1842 over the supposed human rights abuse. And then later on, the French and Americans didn't like this and openly sided with Hawaii, which prompted a British admiral to finally arrive in July to see the situation. Kamehameha III told his side of the story on how it was just a dumb rumor. And also American warships arrived soon after, which pressured the British forces to leave on July 31st, ending Hawaii as a colony. But sadly, these problems wouldn't end. In 1849, in response to some Catholics being persecuted on Oahu, the French sacked Honolulu and left. This led to a new Hawaiian constitution in 1852, not only further adding powers to the legislatures and courts of Hawaii, but also treating foreigners under the same set of laws. Hawaii didn't want any more European attacks. But another problem would arise. Foreign investment in Hawaii became so powerful that many businessmen there wanted to conduct a filibuster takeover. Filibusters were basically rich businessmen who used their wealth to recruit a private army to take over a country, and some got close, like William Walker, who briefly took over Nicaragua. Because of these problems, Kamehameha III actually considered proposing that the United States annex the islands in exchange for statehood. But even if both nations agreed to the annexation, statehood wasn't going to happen, and they probably wouldn't keep the monarchy. So nothing came of it for now. All of this drama caused Kamehameha III to take up a lot of drinking. He declared neutrality in the Crimean War, as Hawaii loved declaring neutrality in wars they'd have no reason to get involved in anyway, and then he'd die in 1854 at only 40 years old. His nephew/adopted son would take over and become, you guessed it, Kamehameha IV. Kamehameha IV did interesting things such as proclaiming December 25th to be Thanksgiving, since some Protestant missionaries told him Christmas is a pagan holiday. Then, 6 years later, he changed his mind and went, okay, no, it's Christmas, whatever. He also promised Hawaii would be neutral in the American Civil War because, again, totally possible Hawaii would do something. You never know. Sadly, Kamehameha IV died in 1863 from an asthma attack, and his brother took over as, unsurprisingly at this point, Kamehameha the Fifth. He made another constitution for the kingdom in 1864 and notably refused to legalize alcohol. He also encouraged a revival of traditional Hawaiian culture and was considered to be the last great traditional chief. He died in 1872 and did not have a chosen heir, so according to the new constitution, since there was no heir, the next king had to be elected. So the person elected would be King Lunalilo. But he died of tuberculosis a year later, and Hawaii hasn't had a lot of luck in monarchical longevity. He also had no heir, so the next king was Kalakaua. Kalakaua used his position to improve education for Hawaiians and to encourage foreign investment into their sugar plantations to help the economy. There was also a type of architectural style known as the Hawaiian Renaissance period, and Kalakaua constructed the Iolani Palace in that style, mixing Hawaiian aesthetic with European-style buildings. Modernization was also considered important, as he had electric lighting installed in that palace 4 years before the White House did in the United States. He also received a ukulele as a gift and became a proficient player, which caused the ukulele to become extremely popular in the kingdom. However, in 1887, American citizens living in Hawaii and foreign investors formed the Committee of Safety, and their goal was to get Hawaii fully annexed by the United States. In 1887, they pressured Kalakaua to make the monarchy solely that of a figurehead. In 1891, he died, and the next monarch would be his sister, Queen Liliuokalani. But in 1893, she would be overthrown as the pro-annexation crowd managed to encourage an overthrow of the monarchy altogether to establish the Republic of Hawaii. Annexation would then occur 5 years later, ending Hawaii's independence altogether. Overall, the Hawaiian kingdom is a unique kingdom that combined Western and Polynesian cultures in many ways. While they weren't able to keep their independence, their legacy can still be seen everywhere in Hawaii today, from their state flag to its music to the fact that their royal guards still exist as a ceremonial force. I'm Emperor Tiger Star, and I'll see you guys next time.